So I just want to talk a little bit on something that I think is something that goes completely unnoticed with us, either when we're in the matrix or when we've had our spiritual awakening and we're running through the dark night of the soul. This one, I know I say this in most of my videos, but this one really is very difficult to try and explain, but I'll do my best to do it. Because I think it's important sometimes, not that we necessarily have to understand like why something was started in us, but sometimes I think it's important that we can understand and see what is going on in us. Because sometimes I certainly with me, I feel like when I notice what's going on, that then goes some way to making me feel more comfortable and notice and observe more my own egoic mind, and when that's leading me down a path that might just be a bit stupid. And when I say path, I don't mean necessarily a path in life, but just even a thought train that might be going on. It might start perpetuating something in my head. So I like to be able to notice these things. But what it is that I'm trying to get to is, have you ever had the feeling that if something's not lived up to your expectations, say, so you want to work for a company, or you wanted to get with this man or this woman, you wanted to get a job in a certain place, or there's even a celebrity that you might have wanted to meet and you think they're wonderful, and then comes along the point where you go to meet that person, or you do end up in a relationship with that person, or you do end up getting the job at the company you really wanted to work for, and then for some reason we start messing it up. We start depreciating what it is, or that job or that person hasn't quite lived up to our expectation of them. And the reason for that is, I'm sure we're all familiar with that. We can kind of get a bit sort of, oh, well, that wasn't what I thought it was going to be, or they wasn't what I thought they were going to be. And then, excuse me, my daughter's trying to call. I'm just going to have to take this, guys. Okay, sorry about that, I'm back. But I'm sure we can all be familiar with that feeling that something hasn't lived up to our expectation, and we feel that it's that has disappointed us, that is no good. But I started to notice sometimes that is the case, but I also started to notice that sometimes that comes from our own lack of self-belief in ourselves. That comes from our own kind of, we might have a low opinion of ourselves. If you're the type of person that walks around a lot, and when you make a mistake, you go, oh, I'm such an idiot. So if you spend a lot of time doing that and you're reaffirming to yourself that you're an idiot, when you then go and work at that company, or you meet that person who's famous, or you get in a relationship with that person, or whatever that scenario is, and you think it's disappointed, I'm begging to differ in some of those areas. And I just want to give you some food for thought, that actually that's your disappointment in that thing is only because you're looking at it thinking, well, it can't be that good because I work there. They can't be that good because they're with me. Now, this might go on really deep in our subconscious, so we might be totally unconscious to that. But it might just be something that, if you stop and you actually think about it and observe your feelings, you might have noticed there's periods in your life where you've met someone that you thought was going to live up to a certain expectation. And when you've met that person, they haven't met your expectation of them. But they haven't met your expectation because they've changed or they're no good. They haven't met your expectation because the moment you meet them, you think they can't be that great because they're with me. If they were really that great, they wouldn't be with me, or wouldn't be talking to me. Or if that company was really good, they wouldn't employ me. This is a real subtle thing that goes on. And it was something that I noticed in myself. And when I noticed it, that was when I started realizing that having the lack of self-belief, having the lack of self-love or self-respect was so detrimental to life, because it ultimately meant that anything that I got that was any good, I would lower its value because I associated it with me. And so I just wanted to throw that out there as food for thought, that maybe some of you guys sometimes do that with yourself, and sometimes maybe that's why life feels like it's on a destructive path. It's not that those things are maybe not meeting the expectations of you, it's that you've lowered them in your opinion because you've associated them with you. I hope that makes sense. That was a real deep one. I struggled a little bit with that, but I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense to you guys, or you'd like me to go a bit deeper on that, as always, let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to try and make that one a bit better. Sometimes I really wish I could read as I talk, so I can kind of keep my mind on track. Ones like that are really difficult to explain. It would be wonderful to be able to have some notes. But there you go anyway. I tried my best. So, but hey, look, this is where I am. It's Wonderful Park today. This is my local park in Hoddesdon town. So yeah, it's always good to get out in nature and just sit. I'm sitting here, so just sitting there on a little bench. I don't think you can see it in the camera. There's a little pond over there with geese floating about, and you get lots of little kids run around on their bikes and out with mums and dads and that. So it's quite a nice place to be. But anyway, guys, work on that self-belief. You're just as valued and important to be here as anyone else. And the fact that you've entered into Dark Night of the Soul, and the fact that you're separating away from that egoic mind, says that you are a part of this universe and you're exactly where you need to be in this life. You're becoming your new and true essence. And it's wonderful when you get there. Anyway, guys, I love every one of you. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for coming on board. It's wonderful to see the channel growing, and it's wonderful that you guys always get involved in the comments, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Take care. Peace. I can't put my hands together. Look. So, peace.